2 seconds. From 0 to 150 knots. A $70 million jet, and one mistake away from disaster. This is controlled violence force, channeled into precision. If anything's off, you don't launch. Feet off the brakes, hands steady, eyes on the shooter. Salute, head back, trust the team, now. This isn't a calm runway in Kansas. It's the flight deck of USS Theodore Roosevelt, 4.5 acres of steel, pitching and rolling in the Pacific. Every launch here is part choreography, part controlled chaos. We're flying a ULT, or unit level training sword, the daily grind that keeps Navy squadrons razor sharp. Every color on deck means a different job. Yellow shirts, directors, and shooters are the choreographers. Their hand signals the language of launch. Blue shirts handle chocks and chains, the plane captains who know each jet better than anyone. Green shirts? They're the muscle behind the catapults, working nose gear fittings, and the steam shuttle that hurls us into the sky. Red shirts arm the ordnance. Purple shirts, grapes fuel the fleet. And whites, the safety observers and LSOs, the guardians watching every move. Ever wonder why carriers turn into the wind before every launch? It's not by chance. Wind over the deck adds free lift to a jet's wings. 20 knots of headwind means a shorter takeoff roll, a safer launch. It's physics, and on a crowded deck, physics is survival. From up here, it looks like chaos,
Clear for takeoff!
But every move is deliberate. Hundreds of sailors, each one with seconds to spare, working inches from jet blast hotter than molten steel. Without them, this sortie doesn't leave the deck. With them, it all works like a machine. On the carrier deck, nothing moves until the yellow shirt says so. Their hand signals are our only language out here. Radios are too loud, too slow. Fists, palms, and thumbs. This is how hundreds of tons of jet and steel dance inches apart. First check tailhook. Even on launch, we prove it works. Drop it, verify it's fully extended, then stow it again.
Hook
If that
failure
hook fails when you
consequence.
come back, you don't stop, you die. Every launch is also a rehearsal for the trap to come. Feet off the brakes. Slow, steady. You're moving 50,000 pounds of jet through a parking lot barely wider than a driveway.
Slow, steady, prepare to turn left.
Every bump you feel is part of the carrier's safety net, the arresting wires stretched across the deck. In launch, they're obstacles. In recovery, they're lifesavers. And here's a myth worth killing. A thumbs up doesn't launch a Navy jet. That's Hollywood. Out here, the only signal that counts is the pilot's salute to the catapult officer. Until then, nobody moves. The jet blast deflector, 6 armored panels, dual hydraulic arms each. On the back, seawater pipes pump thousands of gallons a minute. Why? Because a Super Hornet at maximum thrust spits exhaust hotter than 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than a blast furnace. Wings out. A folded Hornet saves deck space. A spread Hornet is a weapon. Once they lock, you are no longer a parked jet, you're an aircraft waiting to be shot off a moving city. Quick flight control check. Stick left, stick right, rudder kick, flaps down, flaps up. If anything jams now, better to find out here than at 200 knots over open ocean. When a jet launches, that blast is hot enough to melt rubber, plastic, even boots. Step behind a JBD too soon, and you don't walk again. That's why every motion here is timed to the second. Now we're ready. Hook check. Wings spread. Jet blast deflector up. Every crew has cleared the danger zone. The only thing between us and open sky is the catapult. Look left. That jet is about to show us the steps we'll take next. Watch closely. Everything on this deck repeats like a ritual, and every motion has meaning. That 3-foot steel bar is the holdback fin. Its only job hold 50,000 pounds of jet in place, while the pilot goes to military or max power. Without it, the Hornet would roll forward on its own and smash into the jet blast deflector. Now the launch bar drops into the shuttle the catapult's hand on the jet. Holdback pulls back. Shuttle pulls forward. The aircraft is stretched like an arrow in a bowstring. This is what we call tension. Wipeout. The pilot sweeps every control surface flaps, ailerons, rudder, while the shooter watches. If anything moves wrong, launch is off. If it's right, next comes the run-up. Full power, the Super Hornet screams at 2,300 degrees. The holdback bar is the only thing keeping it from tearing loose. The whole deck shakes like an earthquake.
We're airborne.
From 0 to 150 knots in less than 2 seconds. The holdback fitting snaps free. The shuttle hurls the jet skyward. Controlled violence again and again.
Controlled
every
violence
90
cycle.
seconds on this ship. That's the cycle.
Launch cycle
As soon as one
reset.
jet clears the bow, the deck resets for the next. And now, it's our turn. So let's reset. 3 keys before launch. The jet blast deflector shields the deck. The holdback fitting keeps us pinned at full power. And tension means feet off the brakes. the jet held only by steel and steam. Our turn. The yellow shirt takes us forward, inch by inch. Every foot counts too far and we miss the shuttle. Too short and we never lock in. Launch bar down. It sits in the track, lining us up with the shuttle. Not locked yet, just waiting for that final pull forward. Forward. A little more. Stop. Perfect. This is the moment of tension. Feet off the brakes. Parking brake out. The jet is stuck between steel pulling forward and steel pulling back. You feel it, the ship in your spine. Those lights off the port side, that's iFLOS, the improved Fresnel lens optical landing system. Think of it like a traffic light crossed with a laser pointer. Green datum bars mark level flight. The amber ball tells you if you're high or low. Cut lights mean Roger ball. Wave off lights flash red if you're too far gone. And when seas are pitching hard, LSOs switch to MOVLAS, manually operated. With a joystick, they can fly the meatball themselves, syncing your eyes with the deck. It's a backup, but it saves lives when the ocean fights back. Hundreds of micro decisions, each one critical. A nod here, a hand clear there. Every sailor on deck is part of this launch. There is zero room for ego. Precision beats bravado. It looks like chaos, but it's a ballet. Standard procedures and cross-checks cut accidents to near zero. On this deck, one mistake can kill a dozen. That's why the system matters more than any single hero. Now, all eyes are on us. The shooter steps up. In a moment, he'll call for wipeout and run up. And when he points down range, there's no turning back. Launch bar locked. Holdback fitting straining. Tension set. Jet blast deflector roaring with heat. Everything has led to this moment. The shooter's hand will decide our fate, and will ride steel and steam into the sky. Shooter pounds his chest. Wipeout. Stick left, stick right, rudder, flaps, controls alive. Run it up, middle, max. Throttles full forward. The jet shakes, but the holdback holds. Blinds check. No warnings. Green across the board. Head back. Breathe. Trust the team. Go. Fly Navy. Climb. Gear up. Scan instruments. Engine steady. No cautions. We're clean. 2 seconds, and we're airborne. The miracle isn't raw power. It's discipline. Hundreds of hands, every color shirt, every nod, every signal. A ballet of steel and steam that puts a $70 million jet into the sky. From taxi, to blast shield, to holdback, to tension, to salute, to launch. Every launch is the same ritual. Precision is survival, and as one jet clears the bow, another moves forward. Discipline beats bravado. Power without precision is chaos. But here, order rules the sky. If you've got questions about the launch, drop them in the comments. And if you want more from the cockpit, subscribe and fly with us again. So what does all this mean, even if you're not a naval aviator? First, the wind. Facing into it isn't superstition. It's free lift, extra safety margin. A carrier without wind is like a sprinter without traction. Second, the blast shield and the holdback bar. One tames the heat, the other tames the force. Without them, the deck becomes chaos, molten steel, and runaway jets. And last, the salute. Not a thumbs up, a salute is consent. It's authority passed from pilot to shooter, one human telling another, we're ready, launch. 3 simple truths: wind, control, and trust. That's why every cat shot works, every time. Every launch is trust made real. Not just in the steel of a $70 million jet, but in the hands, eyes, and discipline of hundreds working inches from danger. Color by color, roll by roll together, they turn chaos into choreography. No single gesture matters without the rest. Precision beats bravado. Teamwork beats chance. The miracle isn't power, it's discipline.
The miracle isn't
the physics
power.
of wind,
It's
the
discipline.
shield of steel, the salute of
The
trust.
physics of wind,
That's why these
the
launches
shield of
happen,
steel.
The ship,
day after day,
the crew,
storm
and the
or
ocean
shine.
itself
Every
salute
cat
back.
shot is a promise.
And to
That when
every
you
sailor
salute,
in every color,
the ship, the
thank
crew,
you.
and the ocean itself salute back. And to every sailor in every color, thank you.